come in. Now, we have Riya Singh as every day joining in to help us understand what should be the strategy for today. Riya, interestingly, you have Rupee, which has risen sharply against the dollar. Clearly, if you go to see, is this because of the improvement that we are seeing in the global risk sentiment and higher domestic equities that's helping the rupee against the dollar, or are there any other factors?
Yes. See, the rupee has appreciated almost, by a rupee and a half paise from the higher highs. Uh, if you look, against the dollar, now this can be happening. One can expect that there might be a RBI intervention that is happening. Also, yes, the sentiment might have improved with respect to the Indian economy, because as we know that the Facebook have announced a stake into the Reliance uh, stake. So yes, there might be the Facebook getting out an option and announcing that there will be an acquiring state can improve the sentiment of the FIIs overall. So yes, on basis of that, the rupee has gained some confidence. Also, the launch of the ONO operations by the RBI can pitch in to help the rupee appreciate in the coming sessions towards 75.50.
Right. So you have the OMO as well that could come to the rescue. Uh, Rhea, I was reading a couple of reports where I just happened to read something which actually says that there is a possibility that the rupee could probably even slide to levels of 80 per the dollar, and this could happen by June end. Now, do you think this could be a fair possibility?
See, if you look at the overall, the global economic development, it is still on a slide. So these small tweaks that are happening is boosting a short-term appreciation in the rupee. To talk on a longer term perspective, there will be a various factors that will come in where we have to, see some improvement on those levels. Like when it comes to fiscal deficit, whether the fiscal deficit target will be met, how much the fiscal deficit will be there, then how much the crude crash will be happening, helping India. Because if you look at the, if we talk about the crash that happened in the crude oil, or the slide that is happening in the crude oil, it is the best opportunity for the India being the major importer to stock up the the supplies on the oil. So so also when it comes so if it can happen, they might help in to get some fiscal benefits on that. Because if you look at the Indian budget, for the year 2021, India had budgeted around $105 billion crude oil import. But with the fall in the price, it can come down to, it can come down a significant, it can help the fiscal deficit on that part significantly. But the major issue will be on that part is the storage facility. So the country has a very limited capacity compared to the other countries such as US, China, Japan, and South. So on that part, one must, there will be a factor that one must look out for. So also the fiscal deficit target also. So the crude oil is the one factor that can help in the fiscal deficit. Also, if you look at the government borrowing, it has raised significantly in order to meet the pandemic and to give out the monetary benefit to the country. So these two factors is something that one must look out for as to how much both of these factors are going to set off each other. So there will be so fiscal deficit will be one factor that one has to look out for. How much the economic stability will come in the coming till June. Will there be a increase on the pandemic side, or or there will be a recovery move. So few of these factors will happen, will pitch in as to how much the rupee will depreciate in the coming session. So yes, if you want to talk about the level wise, 75.50 would be a very crucial level for the rupee to to set the trend, whether the appreciation will go on or whether it will be a major support in the rupee for a trend reversal.
Right, so that's an interesting factor that you've brought in as well, Ria, especially on the fiscal deficit front, on the rupee front as well. So, any strategy you would want to recommend on the Indian rupee?
So Indian rupee for today will be, if will be on the appreciation side. If the rupee opens below 76 levels, one can definitely go for a sell in the rupee for 75.85, 75.55 levels. So this is the one strategy that one can follow. Also, the other strategy that one can go for is pound. Pound can be bought for the target of 94.37, 94.65 if it opens on a positive note, because there is a chance that pound may weak a bit against the dollar, taking into consideration the PMI data released and the UK, going for a raise into the government borrowing. So these two strategies one can follow for the today's session.
Right. And apart from the Indian rupee as well, another currency that I want to discuss with you is with regards to the pound goes. Now,
Mhm.
overall, if you see in terms of the pound as well, you have UK debt office, which is planning to raise almost 180 billion pounds by selling government debt between the period of May to July. And this is mainly to counter this kind of an economic impact. Now, do you think this is something that could actually have an impact with regards to where the pound dollar outlook goes?
Yes, definitely. See, country all over the world are trying to raise, uh, the government spending fund. So they want to fund the government spending through these issues, through bond issues, through government security issues. But the major problem that they'll be facing is how smooth they can act on it, because we have already discussed that there is a major supply and demand battle that is going on when it comes to the government securities. There's too much supply, but there's no one to buy them. So yes, the if the management office plans to issue such a huge amount in the government debt between May to July in order to finance the government spending, it will help offset the impact of COVID-19 pandemic that the UK economy is facing along with the other countries. But it will draw back a major uh, you know. Dip into the pound against the dollar. So if this happens and there is a smooth sailing for the issuance, we can expect dollar to strengthen again the pound in the coming sessions.
Right. And what's the sense you pick up, especially if to look at, pound to euro? Because the recovery that we saw, do you think that could be tested as well, especially on the back of the EU meeting, as well as what's happening with Brent prices?
Yes, so the EU meeting is scheduled for today. So the major topics that they are going to discuss is with respect to the different steps to help into the COVID-19 situation, and to come out with the perspective as to how to gain the economic stability in the coming days. So that is something one has to look out for. So euro, if there is a positive come out of the EU meeting, euro might gain against the dollar in coming sessions. But I think it won't last much. 2 to 3 days positivity can be seen into the euro, because dollar at the end is the safe haven. So I think after a few sessions, the dollar will again strengthen, because even though these news are coming, dollar index is still at 100 levels. There might be some positivity coming into the euro in coming session, but it won't last much, and it can again weaken against the dollar. So
Right.
yes,
But,
yeah.
but Riya, if you have to look at the pound and euro pair, now, if anything comes out of the US EU Council
Hmm.
that provides some a bit of a booster to the euro or USD pair, do you think that would actually put pressure then on the pound euro pair?
No, I don't think so. Because overall, the EU meetings that will happen will actually boost the Europe economy as a whole. So I think it will rather complement it than you know getting into or putting any pressure on the pound.
Right. All right, Riya. Pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for sharing that update as well. We will come back to you on a Monday morning as well to understand the strategies yet again. So that was Riya. In fact, if anyone has any queries as well with regards to any currency, you have a couple of minutes where you can just post it out on the Q&A section. We'll just wait it out for the next 10 to 15 seconds. If you all have any queries, Riya, just bear with us for the next 10-15 seconds. We'll see if any of the participants have queries, and we will just take them very quickly.
Okay.
Riya, we have got one query from Sanket Mane who's asking what will be the impact of unemployment data with regards to currency?
The unemployment data is basically plays a a negative part when it comes to the performance on the currency. So if the unemployment data worsens for India, there will be a economic pressure that the government will be facing. So in so if but they are working with respect to the various monetary policies coming out, and the various monetary packages they are coming out with. So yes, if the unemployment data comes back negative more, there will be a negative impact on the currency, and rupee can weaken in that scenario.
I hope, Sanket, your question has been answered as well. I think that's the only query that we have for the day. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. We will see you guys yet again on Monday morning. Thank you.